Hello, friends. Hi, how are we today? I hope we are all doing well. I am doing fantastic. I am here for the week of the 20th through the 26th of May. That is correct. I am still 5.5 months ahead. But this is our last full week in May, which means next week we are moving into the June kits, and that is super duper excited. I am, in fact, catching up because it is only November 4th while I am doing this voiceover. I did actually film the base of this at the beginning of October, and then life just got very lifey. And this is the last base that I have filmed. I had pre-filmed a bunch of bases. You'll see the one before this, Bunny Bear Plans. That should be up. I will say tomorrow, Tuesday, November the 5th, and then this one will likely be up. I can't decide on the Friday or the Saturday. Tell me down below in the comments, what's your preferred viewing schedule? Because, I just can't figure out the metrics. I know for sure, for some reason, Wednesdays very rarely do well, and Sundays very rarely do well. But otherwise, I don't know. Just tell me what you like. Tell me what you like. I just need a little bit of help, okay? So I am using the Happy Birthday kit. I believe it was a discontinued kit from the Prairie Planner. Now, I picked this up. Yes, I did pick this up in one of her last call sales. Because this is the weekend of my kid's birthday, and I always like doing something colorful in May. I always want to do something transitional. I can't always find exactly what I'm looking for. I don't really want to use all of the spring kits in the world. It's there's a lot of reasons that I used it, but one of the main reasons was how bright and colorful it is. And I'm glad that the colors on my screen, at least, are showing up true to the colors in the kits, because those blues, those pinks, those teals, those purples, they all look outstanding. The teal, especially the tealy green, it's a little bit darker than a teal, I think, but it is so stunning. And I think this whole entire kit just laid down so nicely. I'm now just looking at my speed, and I don't even think I'm sped up here. I think I'm just real time. That's okay. The second half of the week is very sped up, or whatever it's called. The day-by-day planning is sped up. So this is a really special week. This was the end of the May long weekend. So my mom had booked my husband and I a getaway overnight, and we went to Blue Mountain, which is like a tourist resort for a ski hill, about 2.5 hours away from us. She has a cabin on the private ski hill next to it, and she got us the hotel just because we needed a night away. And now that we've had the night, because this is the first time that I've been away from my kids with my husband. I've been away for one night to go to a show with my best friend when I just had one kid. But even then he was 2.5 years old, and that was the first time that I had been away. And partly that's due to the pandemic, and partly that's just due to the fact that kids are kids. And I was not gonna lie, I had some pretty bad postpartum anxiety and depression, and leaving them with anybody made me feel extremely uncomfortable. So I am glad that I got through this hurdle. I really needed to do it, and now that I've done it, I'm totally fine. It's also helped me be confident with being able to get a babysitter. Now, let me tell you, I vetted the babysitter, but we don't have in-laws or parents readily available to babysit. And part of that is because my in-laws are fairly young compared to my parents. My parents had us later in life. And so they are both still full-time employed. So these poor people, looking after my kids are a lot. I am very aware how much my kids are. So we went out and we found a sitter. And one of the things that we were really lucky with is that just because you guys needed to hear this, but for anybody who's sort of in the trenches of parenting right now, wondering what to do, we had signed our kids up for soccer. And the program that they went with, the soccer program that they went with, they have to do a criminal background check. They have to have CPR training. They have to go through a financial background check. And there's another check that they have to go through. She's 19, 18, I guess. Yeah, 18. So, really, really, really like her. And I joked about it one time with her. I was like, oh, it's too bad I can't use you as a sitter. And she's like, yeah, I do some sitting on the side. It's pending my soccer schedule because she plays pretty competitively. And it was fantastic. So we've interviewed her. We tried her out, had her over a few times. And then we just left her for like an early evening, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. with the kids. No problem. So it like, obviously whatever makes you feel comfortable, but I can't tell you how beneficial it's been to my husband and I to have somebody like that in our life who we can pull in when we need them. So I just finished laying down the headers. I definitely went like very extra this week. And then I did use the leftover stickers from Bunny Bear Plans from the week before. If you haven't seen that, you can go check it out. I will link it in an iCard up above, or it's the last video. Yeah, it'll be the last video on my channel. But I am very excited to have been able to use some of those leftovers, but they are glossy and they do stick up from the page. Like I really like Bunny Bear Plans, but she is a newer shop, so she's still working out the kinks in her designs, and her kits are so thick. The paper is so thick, which is fine. I don't mind using it for a week. It just is a weird consistency, especially glossy versus matte paper. And you guys know I don't use glossy paper a lot, so anyway, now this is the full layout done. I did forget to put the headers down, but don't worry, they're going to be in the next shot. So the headers are down. Again, I think it ties it together because they're not super aggressive headers as well. As in like they're not overwhelming in the upper space. They just sort of look small and nice. But we'll get into the day by day now. So on the Monday, I was so hungover. And I used, it's an allergy one, but just the crying and head spinning emoji from the Coffee Monsters Co. And then I used icons from the kit. My husband and I went ahead and we went to Sunset Grill for breakfast. My solution is always thyme and greasy food and coffee. And water. But it was so hot. It was insanely hot. So I'm so glad I have those sweaty icons, and then just some love icons from the Coffee Monsters Co. to note that we picked up the boys from my mom's. Then we drove home, another icon from the kit, and we had outdoor play. I was obviously very hungover, very tired, so I just had the emoji with the Mom Life coffee. I did laundry, and then that evening I placed an order for Fox and Cactus. On Tuesday, I still had a day off, so I went to Home Depot to get more stuff for my garden with my husband. I used the squish from Fox and Cactus for that. And then my husband and I went ahead and test drove the Honda CR-V, which we ended up purchasing in August. Just a word of the wise, but very glad that we did it. And then we had to do groceries because we had been away all weekend. So we did groceries. And then in the afternoon, this was a very low-key day, probably the lowest key day of our week. I watered my garden, and that watering can is from Sweet Tea Sticker Co. And then with the Coffee Monsters Co. emoji, I just noted that I baked a rhubarb crisp. Rhubarb and strawberry rhubarb is my favorite kind of pie and crisp. Apples should not be maligned, but it's just rhubarb as elite, I think. So then on the Wednesday, it's not really showing up on the camera, but I did bring in one of the flags from the kit just to note daycare drop off. And then again, it was a crazy hot day. I used a Maru from Paper and Milk just to note that I work from home, as well as to note that I did laundry. Then I changed the sheets. Then I pulled some stickers, and then those two icons are from the kit, and then just a Fox and Cactus icon there, or a Fox and Pip icon there. In the second half of my week, I did the same as I did on Wednesday. So on Thursday and Friday, 2 daycare drop-offs with the flags. Excuse me. It's like clockwork every single time. I thought we would get away with it because I had coffee, but I did not. But so on Thursday and Friday, I used a work from home icon, Paper and Milk, and then I went to Starbucks on Thursday, just because I had walked home from dropping them off, and I pulled stickers. And then I had a manicure and pedicure at 11:15 a.m. And then I ordered cake for my kiddo's birthday. Then I struggled a lot at the end of the day here, how to mark everything. There was a lot that went on. So I ended up having to pull in an extender here and on Saturday, which took me a really long time to do. And I could not figure out how to mark everything that I wanted to mark. I'm so glad the Prairie Planner has removable stickers because it really did make a huge difference. Excuse me. So one of the things that I marked was that I got Happy Mail from the Prairie Planner, and it was also a no spend day. I had already budgeted and taken out the money for the manicure and pedicure, and my Starbucks card is loaded once every 8 weeks. So it was actually a no spend day, which was really nice. And then I set up my garlic patch, and then I had to deal with Rogers because I got a bill that was $25 more than it normally is. And if you're from the States, in Canada, we only have 2 telecom companies that provide the majority. I want to say 95% of cell coverage and internet coverage in Canada. And I was like, why is my bill? And so you have to call them like every 2 months because there's always the discrepancy on your bill. It's insane. But they've got a monopoly and it's ridiculous. Then I had to call Enercare because I didn't understand why my hot water tank was removed from my gas bill, but it turns out they just, the companies divested themselves of one another, so it's separate. It's the same cost, it's just separate, which is fine. It's fine. It's an easier thing for me to see how much I'm actually paying for my gas, as opposed to always having the hot water tank rental and fees associated with that on it. And if you're wondering why I'm doing a hot water tank rental, because I am who I am as a person, it's because, again, the idea, well, people aren't coming out to you super early if you don't have if you don't have the care package that goes along with the rental. It's a scam. I know. I'm fully aware. Like, don't even get me wrong. So I just have that because the idea of no hot water with 2 little kids is like appalling to me. So then on Friday, I'll zoom through this, obviously. It was another no spend day. I went to Starbucks. My kiddo had soccer, and the scripts are from Sweet Tea Sticker Co., as well as the laundry icon next. And the little boy with the soccer is from Fox and Pip. Then I went on a lunchtime walk, and I have running shoes from Fox and Cactus to mark that. And then Sweet Tea Sticker Co. Script and icon to note that I filmed that day. And then in the evening, I just had a drag race binge. I think I was just rewatching All Stars season 7. That was like cream of the crop All Stars. On Saturday morning, I had a fantastic sleep. It was outrageous, so I used one of these huge girls in her pajamas from Fox and Cactus. It's like my favorite way of marking a fantastic sleep. Then we went to Costco to pick up stuff for the party. Then my big guy had his haircut that morning before his party, which was great. And then we took him out to lunch because this is one of his fear things, is getting his hair cut. So we took him to McDonald's. And then I had a little 40-minute nap, just because, again, my little one really didn't start sleeping well until the end of August. And we did outdoor play that afternoon, which is great. And I just used some decor from the kit to note that. I watered my hanging plants, which I'm notably bad at. I'm great at my back garden. My front garden needs a lot of work. And then I used a present just to note that I prepped for the party. So on Sunday, I used the balloons from the kit, and I just noted that my baby's 4. He's not a baby anymore. That's a little like person. And then both the boys had swimming that morning. And I took some time to clean the house, and that clean script is also from the kit, as well as a paper and milk maru. And I used the cupcake liners just to note that I prepped for the party. And then that afternoon, I used marus to know that it was my kiddo's birthday party, and then we did presents. And then after that, after everybody left, which was about 6:30, my husband and I ordered in St. Louis wings for dinner, and then we watched Wonka that night. And that was my entire week. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. I hope you're all staying safe.